Hi there. I don't see. Oh, I see levels. Yes, it is
Be able to
mine.
hear me now. All right, there we
It's
go.
my
Sorry about that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Keeney said, "You guys." Oh, wait. Sorry.
Oopsies. Professional streamers, by the way. Oh yeah, and there we go. There we go. Now everything good. Technical difficult. Holy. I think we're good. We have sound.
We good.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Hello, chat.
Yeah, we'll have to cut out the previous 5 minutes, but that's fine. Whatever.
Oh yeah, we can cut that out of the pod. We're okay.
Yeah. So we're back after a year.
Yeah, we're back.
Bikini. It's okay, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, it has been a year. I didn't count like the exact days.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it has been a long time.
First question: where
Elephant in the room. I got a haircut.
Yeah, and I got a pimple on my nose. Look like Rudolph. Yeah, but yeah, where have we been? Yeah, so we talked a little bit about it, but we were saying it while we were muted and had technical difficulties. But yeah, basically, I mean, the issue is we never really had like a proper schedule to work with, so we never had like, okay, we're making a podcast each, etc., whatever. Obviously, we aimed towards bi-weekly at first, but then like there wasn't enough to talk about, and then New Blood happened, which was basically like a Siege Content Creators 9/11. So
yeah, dude, it was so bad. It was like.
Yeah.
It was like The Big Short. Like it was like the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis for Siege content creators. Like
it was bad.
Everything that exists now exists in the shadow of Operation New Blood, for better or worse. Like I think we've made a significant improvement to the point where it's it's like popping off again. But those 3 months were rough.
That happened.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they did recover quite quickly, I would say.
Yeah.
I thought Twin Shells was really good.
I love Scopos. Scopos is so cool. Scopos is like one of my favorite operators right now.
Yeah, same. I'm working on a video for her right now as well. But also, like, why we didn't pick up the podcast again was, I mean, both you and I were very busy with real life stuff.
So oh my gosh! Well,
in the freezer.
We both ended up like kind of going through life events at the same time.
Yeah.
I didn't really end up talking to you about yours too much, but yeah, I just had to like, yeah. So to the point of the name at the bottom of the frame there, looking different these days. I was in Texas, a state of the good old US of A that I adored. I did. I really did enjoy living in San Antonio. Great Mexican food. Oh my God. Best fucking Mexican food I've ever had in my life. And fresh produce all year round. It's hot. It would get into what we call the triple digits in America, which is in excess of 100 degrees Fahrenheit for several days, which, that was rough. But aside from that, great. And then a compounding set of factors took place with the political situation regarding trans people in the state of Texas. And I just had to like leave for my own safety. And that's not really exaggerating. There are trans people in the state of Texas that are making it work, that are still there. But it's kind of like a hurricane, right? It's like trying to advise somebody through a hurricane and letting them know like, hey, do you want to leave? You should probably leave. And they're like, oh no, I can tough it out. And maybe they can, but maybe they can't, right? So it was just it was a gamble that I had to run away from. And then that really threw my YouTube thing like completely up in the air because I came back to DC and applied for a lot of stuff at the federal government. And I was like, okay, this is the YouTube thing's just going to be on the back burner probably for the rest of my life here. And then, every time I try to leave, they pull me back in. And here I am again, because turns out the college degree I got was kind of a waste of time. Whoops. Anyway, got a YouTube channel out of it, so what the hell?
I had something.
So now we're back. Yeah, gotta make some money somehow.
Yeah, no, but a lot of things happening here, and now CGX is happening, which is so funny because like I remember being told about like what was then called, I think it was Siege Modernized. I had heard about. We never talked about it on the podcast before because hey, it was under NDA.
Oh
But
yeah,
I remember like I knew
Ubisoft don't
about
play.
it like even going into New Blood, which is like probably the only reason I stuck around after New Blood. But even though New Blood was rough, and the podcast survived the R6 podcast curse for now. Did it really though? Like
It's more like
it did
it didn't
die.
we've performed necromancy here.
Yes.
It's not that it survived. Like it died, and now we've
It's
reincarnated
resurrected,
it. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that's also why we're thinking that we had a little talk last week about how we kind of want to work with this to make sure that it doesn't happen again, and we think that this sort of stream format is really good because it just makes uploading the whole thing easier, because before we would have to like record for maybe 2 hours, then we have to, it's midnight for me, I have to render the thing, and that takes quite a long time to render like a 2 hour stream, and then the stream format
Yeah, and like, hey, don't forget the thumbnail, yada yada. Like,
oh yeah,
it also gives us something to riff off of for airtime, like because we can talk to you guys, we can bounce things off of the chat, and that fills dead air, which really helps with the quality of the show, I think.
Yeah, that was always
makes
something
it
we
more
had
of a
issues
conversation.
with. Yeah, topics, like having topics to actually talk about was really hard sometimes, and especially during that sort of period of like, damn, Ubisoft are not really like doing enough things. Then it's like, okay, what do we have to talk about then? Do we just talk about the current situation?
We can just complain about Ubisoft for an hour.
Yeah, and like,
which is what a lot of people make money off of. But what the hell? Not like I haven't in the past. I certainly have.
Yeah, I talked.
There is a diminishing return with that though.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that these like rage baiting content creators like don't really realize, is that like at the end of the day, you're not exactly going to encourage your viewers to stick around on the game that you're like constantly shitting on. You're actively going to discourage them one by one. So in the end, you want like that'll actually hurt your own bottom line. They don't really realize that.
Well, and you have to be able to work that content model, if you want to call it that, off of a bunch of different games, and you can't just do it with one. You have to hate every single game that comes out and then make this whole thing out of like, okay, what's wrong with this game coming out in Q3 and we got another one coming up in Q4 to get mad about, and then you'd almost like base your entire content schedule around complaining about new releases, because those are current things. Yeah. But if you're going to complain about a live service game, then it's just kind of like, go play something else, right? Like that's what most people usually do. What's up, Cass? How you doing?
But it used to be believable. In the beginning, you said you planned to make a
homegirl.
Oh, nice. You said you plan to make a podcast once a week, and plans for the future to follow the flow. So I think right now our goal is to make one of these like sort of podcast streams every other week, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna feel the vibe. We don't want to promise too much. Like I've learned in this business, like overcommitting is bad.
Yeah.
Because one, it leads to burnout. Two, it frustrates the audience, right? Because then they have a certain expectation of what you're gonna try to do.
Yeah.
What a linkst. And also it's just like it fucks with your schedule for other things. Because we're not like Post Plant Podcast obviously is an hour only thing, right? Like we have our main channels. I have my Twitch stream. Like I by the way, go ahead and posting TTV Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not that that is relevant, but yeah, we have like our other sources of income, and Post Plant Pod. We've been floating the idea of putting AdSense on it, but like.
I think we
got to get to like
it.
We're not even close, I don't think.
We got
a lot of work to do.
Well, we need to do at least a couple of streams. Oh, you're okay, there we go. There's that. Boom.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, that's you. Holy.
Awesome.
I did it.
Dude. Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Look at us.
Not Discord. Okay, I don't want to make you super small. What? Why is it?
Just put an Ash PNG over a transflag JPEG. That's...
Okay.
That's
There
totally
it is.
accurate.
Cinema.
Oh my god, we did it!
Oh my god.
Woohoo!
Thanks, Obama.
Technical go. Ah!
What? No, we're good. I just had to swear.
Oh, okay.
We're so back.
We're back, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that was an adventure. Wow. Okay.
Ooh, good question. We can start off immediately with.
Yes.
Siege X, meet your personal expectations plus thoughts from the coconut. Maybe if you're still here. Ooh. Did they fix casual? First of all, no, they didn't. But yeah, Siege X. I can start. I mean, personally,
Yeah, go for it.
I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think some people felt like they could have done more, but like to me, it's just Siege but better. And like that's all I would ever really want. And I'm personally excited to see how like free to play kind of affects the creator landscape. I think there's going to be a lot more like views circulating it now, which is going to be very healthy for like a content creator perspective. But there is obviously like a little bit of a hesitation there with like anti-cheat and whatnot, but we'll just have to see there. I know that free to play has been up in the air for like the last 4-5 years, and they've obviously waited with sort of taking that leap until now. So I do think that we're going into it and like they feel pretty good about that. But yeah.
I am very excited. I concur with everything you said. I think that in terms of did Discord just start working again?
Let me know if
Give me
it
a
is.
break.
Let me know if
Give
it
me a
is.
break,
We can
man.
swap back.
It is. I'm in a call
Oh
now.
my god.
I'm
I'm
on my
not.
phone. We're not.
I'm
we're
not.
just.
Oh.
It's fine.
Why
Oh
did
my
it
God.
make you small now? Oh my
I'm,
god.
I'm small.
There you go.
No, I'm big.
You're super big.
I'm big girl. No, I think yeah, like Siege XW. I think that the graphics are awesome. The sound design, from what I got to play, was extremely different than what people are going to be, what people are used to now. It will have a concerted effect on the way that people like. There is a clear and obvious difference between the two systems. Yeah. And I think for the better. I'm really happy with the decision that they took to invest into the infrastructure of the game rather than try to promise something that wasn't feasible or try to package it in a way that was disingenuous. Looking at you, Overwatch.
I see it's true.
Yeah, like they didn't talk out of their ass. They didn't lie about what they were trying to do with this. They were very upfront and they just said, "Hey, this is not a new game. This is a really, really big title update. And as far as title updates are concerned, for a game of this nature, this is very significant. Is it the biggest title update ever? I mean, like, it's kind of up in the air. I think that just the infrastructure changes that they're doing here with the lighting in particular, like those things matter, right? Yeah. Having a product of a certain production quality competing in this space does give you a certain kind of marketing angle, like just general word of mouth, right? If the game looks like crap, if the sound is scuffed, people are going to notice that, and people are going to notice that the game is aging, and Siege is aging, right? It's going to be 10 years at this point. So it was pretty overdue. And that's not to say that because it was overdue that they should get knocked, for putting it out at the time that they have, which I have seen some people kind of try to downplay it and say, oh, well, they should have done this 3 years ago. They should have done this 4 years ago. I don't think anybody, like,
I find that's such a silly rebuttal.
I find that really short-sighted.
Yeah, but it's also like, but is it a bad thing that they're finally doing it? Like, it makes no sense. Like
people will complain about anything in the gaming space these days. Like
I'm gonna complain that they're complaining.
Me too. Valid and real.
Oh, God.
I think it's going to be great. Dual front. I like dual front. I am dual front's strongest soldier. I don't care. Some people really don't like it at all.
I thought I was going to hate it.
I think I can understand why, because it sounds
but I like it.
a bit strange. Yes. Yeah. It does sound strange in its initial pitch. When you get to play it in an environment of people that are trying their hardest, 6 people trying their hardest versus 6 people trying their hardest, and it's not just like, I remember playing the beta, it felt like a bad game of Battlefield. Like, you know, a bad game of Battlefield where everybody is just kind of like walking around and there's no clear plan, and you're just kind of like lethargically like moving from objective to objective, and it just kind of like moves at the top of your screen without much input from you. That's what it feels like. Yeah. When it's intense, at the height of its intensity, it is some of the most fun I've had with the game in years, like since it came out in 2016. Like I'm not capping.
Yeah, and like a lot of people are sort of like trying to downplay it and say that it's like COD-like or whatever, but like it really does still feel like
nonsense.
Siege. You are like actually reinforcing, you are actually doing setups, and it's so much slower than like you'd experience in like COD or whatever. It genuinely still feels like Siege, and this is coming from someone who still to this day absolutely despises what, you know, Quick Match 2 and Standard has kind of like done to the landscape of Siege, where it's just dumbed down the community. It was a hot topic like last week, how, as I said that it would, the entire community has just gotten dumber. I called that way back in heavy metal. The playlist changes is going to make everyone dumber, and lo and behold, now everyone is dumber.
Well, you should be happy, right? Because we're getting unranked back pretty soon.
Yes.
So that's
but it's a step in the right direction, but they can definitely do more. And I am a little bit worried because I do remember during our presentation for unranked, there was we never really got like full on details on it, but I do remember one of the sort of like drop down text underneath the unranked announcement in our presentation, not the public one. Was that it said competitive map pool for unranked, and that leads me kind of to think that like maybe they're cutting out the all maps option from Standard, which is something that I'd like to have, especially with Quick Match 2.0 being really terrible. But that also makes me wonder, is it a competitive, so is ranked and unranked going into like the comp map pool now? Because I would think that's a step back. From like a more casual and like average player point of view. But also during that presentation, he said that Quick Match was going to have a quick map catered pool now as well. So Quick Match might also remove all, to have an option where you can play all maps, which is just, that to me is a really huge step back because I, as a player, love to have a single playlist where I can get to play all maps in a normal Siege setting, which technically is what I have in Standard right now, even if it's not as good as it was in Quick Match 1.0. So I'm cautiously optimistic with Unranked.
I feel that. I think that Unranked should be like a copy-pasted version of the most competitive playlist outside of the tournament function. And I think that the map pool should probably reflect that. I'm a competitive Carol, you know, like I'm one of those people that thinks like trickle down balancing is real. I don't care what happens in a Quick Match silver elo lobby with Kapkan or Tachanka, right? Like I think the game should be balanced around the top level because that's what people are here for. That being said, I don't think that the casual community should be ignored or maligned, right? It's a multi-packaged thing, kind of like Halo in its peak, right? We were able to, in the same way Halo was able to accommodate a wide range of audiences, you know, Siege is in a very similar kind of vibe and circumstance. The one thing I would really like to see matchmaking wise to kind of get away from the like partitioning off content argument, I don't know, I think with free to play, we're going to be at a population point where we could consider just having like dedicated map queues, kind of like Counter-Strike. Like I think Counter-Strike's system of having like a sweat playlist, like your Mirages, your Dust, your Anubis, maps like that, right? And then having your kind of like, you know, not non-sweaty maps, but a little bit more loose, right? Like the vibes are just a little more. It's like an off sweat. I think having like a clear demarcation between those two would benefit Siege, but I'm curious what you think.
I personally, I think that's one of those things that's like sound good on paper, but then you end up kind of in a situation where the community decides what is a good map or not, and I don't necessarily think that the community is good enough at doing that. You know what I mean? Like Dust 2 is fair. A fan favorite in CS, right? But it is actually a pretty terrible map from a design point of view. But people love it because they've played it since they were 6 years old. Right. And I think Siege already has that issue when you look at, you know, Oregon. Oregon is an extremely outdated map, but people love it and people consider it a good map because they're used. It's true.
Careful.
You know it's true.
I don't care.
Oregon is outdated. It's right. Like in the current day Siege, it's outdated. Coastline, yeah, Coastline is a fan favorite too, but it's a terribly designed map. It's absolutely awful. But people love it because they're just super familiar with it, and they avoid the new maps, which they aren't familiar with, like the Plague, and they just write them off as bad maps. But they're not. Like New Consulate, Labs was received very poorly early on, but like Labs is actually a pretty damn good map. That's doing really well in.
I like those. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, see, case in point, what I just said. Right.
I like Lair. Lair's great. Lair's like one of my favorite maps.
Yeah, that's good.
It's really difficult for me to dislike a map. Like Canal, get Canal out of here. I tried to give out back a fair shake. I did. I really tried my best. No. Outback just feels like bad clubhouse.
Oh, I've actually gotten so good at Outback lately because my stack actually like does unique strats, and we actually play like the offsites on Outback, and they're so good. It's so good.
An Outback Strutter. Oh my god.
That's the thing. Dude, bringing ranked players who have never touched like Outback offsites in their entire life, it's so much freelo. It's so good.
No, it is. Yeah. I mean, I think that if I run into you in a ranked lobby, like I will crash out and you will earn that elo from me. Like I'm not going to not crash out. I will crash out, but you will get that elo. And I think that's like,
better player.
That's valid. If you want to learn the strats for the map nobody cares about, like that's fine.
Skill issue.
I
actually want to touch on a question from Uplinks in chat though, because I don't know if you saw, but the other day I had a 50% canal rate when I was playing my
I have like a 50. I have like a 58 on canal, and I hate it. I hate canal so much, but for some reason it like I always do pretty decent on it. I can't play Night Haven for shite.
Yeah, but
I don't know why I tried to self-censor there. I don't think we're like a no cussing channel. I think it's fine.
Fuck shit, balls come cunt.
Fuck.
Yeah. So basically,
Night Haven. I have like 5 wins and like 27 losses. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me and Night Haven. I don't know. But I don't know. Like I've considered professional help.
Yeah,
like it's really bad.
The thing with Canal for me is I don't hate Canal. I can play the occasional Canal, but I don't. Regardless of which map it is, I don't like to get like the same map 50% of the time. And it was just obviously like really bad luck that I had.
Yeah.
But no, like even the
Emerald Plains mentioned in chat. I love Emerald Plains.
I like it too.
I'm Emerald Plains strongest soldier.
It's okay. I don't think it's amazing, but it's okay. It's certainly better than like 4 or 5 other ranked maps, I think.
Like what?
I mean, I'll play that over like Coastline, Border.
Okay.
Oh god, Canal, Cafe.
I'd rather play. Okay, that's fair. Cafe, interesting.
Cafe just needs better
Cafe's a little dated.
Floor. Yeah,
Cafe's a little dated.
And yeah, I played over Oregon. I play Emerald Plains over Oregon. Yeah. Because like
I love Oregon.
The way that we play ranked is we try to take out the defaulty stuff. We try to take out the Oregons, the Coastlines, sometimes Clubhouse, but we're a pretty damn good Clubhouse team because we have our first.
Clubhouse is like my second favorite. Clubhouse is my Mirage.
My stack plays bar and stage first sight, and that is like we have like a 90% win rate on bar and stage.
That's valid. I gotta start doing shit like that with my stack.
It's so
that's like where the fun of the game is for me is in the the stratting component and trying to like pick apart the puzzle. And I think that in some capacities, having a map demarcation thing might, assist in that. 100%. But I don't know. It could also end up.
People always ask
it could
me,
be, could be to your point, like bad in execution.
Yeah, people always ask me sort of like, hey, Kini, how can you like still enjoy playing Siege? You have almost 10,000 hours in it, but it's because
you never run out of things to do.
Yeah, but I choose to not run out of things to do. When I play Oregon, I don't play top floor and basement every single round. I don't play Ash and Jaeger every single round. I play the offsites, I play the off maps, I play the off operators, I do different strats, I play in a 5-stack, and then the game just has infinite replayability.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah.
There's so many things. I've always felt comfortable describing it as a sandbox. Some people, they think it's not as loose, but everybody has a different way of approaching the game. I think Dual Front, kind of circling back, I think Dual Front is cool. I appreciate that they tried their best to do something new and try to do something different, even if it wasn't for everybody. That capacity to take a risk on something that's new in terms of game modes, right? Like taking the Siege mechanics and then repurposing them into a different environment shows me that they're confident with what they're working with, which is a good sign. I'm a huge fan of the sniping in that mode. I appreciate that there's actually kind of like a viable way to like provide Overwatch on the outside of a building and kind of do the cop LARPy sort of thing a little bit. It's a very LARPy mode. There's like a lot of things that you can do that I would say are like indicative of how a tactical shooter would play out. I love Rappel 2.0. Oh my gosh, it's so sick. Like I've hit so many clips with Rappel 2.0 just like going around a corner and just taking an engagement confidently because people just aren't, on the beta, right? They weren't ready for that shit, right? Like we were doing that. I was of course familiar with the game from playing in Atlanta and from other play tests, and there's a certain component of people trying to get used to the fact that it's kind of like Warzone where you have to like be conscientious of getting like peeked from the roof of a building. That's something Siege players are used to having a little bit more of a confined set of variables in terms of where people are going to be. But I think it's just a fun way to play with the mechanics. I love Siege's mechanics, right? It doesn't have to be specifically within the context of a 5v5 elimination game mode. I love that, it's built around that. It's fun. But I don't mind that it is, repurposed into something else. That being said, there is a counter argument that I've heard pretty frequently, and that is, who is the mode for? If the mode doesn't end up, being super, super popular and they end up kind of getting a quote unquote return on investment, right? If it comes out and people play it for like a week and they're like, yeah, that's cool, and they just never touch it again, is that bad, right? Because we've been without new map content since Lair, since year 9, season 1. So it's been a while, and people want new maps, people want new content, people want new operators, right? Like this is a conversation we've been having for years about the actual rate of content, and dedicating all that time to working on the biggest Siege map ever made. Let's just be realistic, right? That is resources that are being allocated to this thing that aren't being allocated to the 5v5 core mode. Now that being said, I think there's enough for the 5v5 core mode with the graphics, with the audio overhaul, with the Rappel, right, to justify its existence. However, even if they had just said like, this isn't Siege X, and they had just done like a whatever, if they had just done a year 9 season 2, here's Dual Front, I don't know how people would have received it. I don't, because I really loved it. But when it ended up getting in people's hands, the reception that I read ended up seeming a bit more muted. I don't know if you encountered that as well.
What was the thing?
So Dual Front is a waste of time, question mark.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it gives Siege players more things to do, especially like sort of as a way to maybe get a refresher. Like maybe you come off a series of some really bad tilting ranked games and you need a mode that is more relaxing. And like regular Siege, since you know, if you do end up dying, you spend a lot of the time dead. Even if you play quick match, right? And TDM isn't really Siege. I personally never touch TDM, but I could see myself picking up.
I'd rather just go in the shooting range if I want to warm or practice my aim.
Yeah, so like dual front for me is a pretty good sort of like warm up and or de-tilting mode, because it is just more casual Siege.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing.
In a good way.
Yeah. And people think casual can't get intense, you know, which like I think they should play Battlefield if they don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I
can
headshots were not an instant kill, but a down by now out. That was weird. Okay, I will weird. Concede. I will concede that point. I tried to give the additional health and injure thing a fair shake. You know, when I first encountered it, I was just kind of like, okay, I'll wait a second till I don't like it. I think they should just keep it like 1-to-1. It's very clunky. It like you've built years of muscle memory, right? It's just very confusing. Like it fucks with you in the middle of an intense gunfight. Not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
But other than that, I mean, you know, I get why they did it, but not my fan. Not a fan of it. She's American. Yeah, we're all loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was American. Really, yeah, I wanted to. We had a question here earlier about what do you think about the prospect of dual front specific balancing like that. I am personally not necessarily a fan, because like what we said, we talk about like muscle memory with different characters, and having like a character that's like, even in like modes that we've had previously with like Doctor's Curse, where you pick like a certain character. I think it was Zofia in Doctor's Curse, but she has like an Ella impact instead of the concussion launcher. That already felt like kind of weird when she's like different there, and having them be like unique and play differently in dual front feels kind of off to me. So I agree.
I think they should be like pretty much a carbon copy from core to dual front, in the sense that they're like, I forgot all about those. Yeah. I think it should be a 1-to-1. You know, it's like it's part of the power fantasy of it. It's part of the like artistic approach that, you know, these are like very, very specialized soldiers that are very good at a specific job, a specific role in a strategic or a tactical situation, and they bring their toolkit to every single kind of situation that they come across, you know, regardless of the circumstances, right? They don't get like special treatment from like one thing to another.
Yeah. What do you expect Ubi to implement throughout the rest of year 10 now that Siege got a fresh look? So I hope, because I really love the destructible ingredients, and I hope that they expand.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot to even mention that. Yeah, I like those too.
The gas leaks, the fire extinguisher. I hope to see them expand that even further. I want them to have like shootable water dispensers that you can either like freeze with Tubarao or electrify using.
I want to see more environmental stuff. Yeah, I want to see more environmental mechanics and synergies. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Gadget interactions. That the Tubarao ice. That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
You could like shoot a water tank and then throw the ice, and then it creates like a big slippery like slowing field. Yeah. Yeah. That can like fall down. They got to do animations for all the operators falling. Yeah.
Probably
banana peel operator.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. No. But what else is there in Siege X that we haven't really talked about? We talked about free to play. We talked about. I mean, what?
Weapon inspect.
New bands.
Oh yeah, new band system. Yeah.
Oh my god. I love it. I heard that there's like a different setup in comp.
I like it too.
I don't know about that, but like to me, it just opens up so much more strategy.
The comp people will figure it out. The compers will figure it out. They always do.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's
my biggest thing is the comp girly. I think there is a valid argument for dopamine gober with some of this stuff. Like, I know some people will write that off and say like that's an arbitrary decision-making point to introduce a mechanic. It's a game. It has to be fun. It has to be entertaining. And there's a lot of downtime in ranked, right? Like everybody jokes about the whole phone phase, not drone phase thing, right? But ban phase is, oh my gosh. I mean, like, and I do this, you know, because my ADHD ass will zone out. But like, I know everybody's done it, right? Everybody's done it where they check their phone, or they get like a Discord DM during the ban phase, and then they come back and they're like, wait, why are we banning Hibana? Oh no, and they banned like something stupid, right? Yeah. And it's, you know, it's one of those like you have nobody to blame but yourself kind of deals. But at the same time, it does kind of slow down the feeling and the pace of the momentum, right, going into the match. And having reactive bans, having bans that like respond to what your opponent is doing is very interesting in the moment, and I think opens up a lot more strategic decision making that didn't really exist previously for strats. You know, do you expect them to go for a Cade for this particular thing? Well, you can take a Tuberal off of the board, and then you can bring something in your back pocket that you've been, you know, reserving in case you anticipated a ban for another kind of attacker, right? There's like a lot of different facets to it that I think are going to make matches, one, entertaining to watch from a competitive point of view, because I'm always going to be interested to see what the coaches do, right? If they see an opportunity to do something differently, call a timeout, huddle everybody together. Hey, I think we take this operator off of the board, and then it completely changes the narrative of that round. So that's interesting, and then it's just more fun as a player, right? Because then I get to actually kind of like think on the fly about what the enemy is bringing and what we can bring on attack. Versus, yeah, at the beginning of the game, it's just like, okay, no more Mira forever. All right.
It also,
and then that's an hour of like no operator in that pool.
Yeah, it also opens up so many like interesting strategies, because you can do 3 on one side. So if you do, you could either go for like a long game plan where like by round 3 they have no more wall denial, like you take out the bandit, the Kaid, and the mute or whatnot, so it just guarantees that you get all walls open if it's on like the last round. Or you could take out 3 hard breachers, so it's just like Maverick left or just Thermite left, which makes bandit tricking super easy. It opens up so many more new strategies,
and we've needed more bans too.
Yeah,
four is not enough right now.
Yeah, so now it's gonna be gonna be 3 for us at least, like, you know, unranked and ranked. And we did try on the test server, because there was like a launch command that you could use where you could boot the game up in Core Siege. And I think in Pro League it started out with 2 bans on round 1, and by round 3 you got to ban 1 more for the rest of the switch. So it was still like 3 bans in the comp setting, and then the last 2-3 rounds was played on. With the last 3 bans remaining or being done, if I remember correctly.
It's one of those where I think people are going to have to get their hands on it and really, you know, yeah, just like get a good wrap of what it feels like in the context of an actual played match, instead of like watching it in a YouTube video, before people can, you know, really start giving feedback on it.
Yeah.
But and you know, I'm gonna be candid. You know, Ubisoft really wanted us to prioritize dual front, right? That was like the primary purpose of the content wise, like being in Atlanta was like dual front. Like we were very, very. It was made very evident that like this, you know, the event is going to be primarily focused on dual front, and the comp Core Siege stuff is, you know, it was there, but I only ended up getting to play one map of it in Atlanta. And I did enjoy it. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I had a great time. But I do want to play more before I really like, you know, commit to a stance at this time.
I mean, I agree. We did a couple of custom games of Core Siege, and it was really good fun, and especially with the new destructible ingredients coming in there, and the audio was. It was improved, but it was clear that it was still in beta, but which is why it was a beta, right? But overall, like, I am happy with the new audio, and I do hope that they fix those small audio issues. I know that especially doorways were having issues with the new sound.
Yeah, doorways were weird. We had some weird bugs where the actual like terrain of the game engine would like act like a sound was inside of like a muffled room, and there was like a wall when you were like outside on the roof of a building. And it was like, no, you're actually in a hospital. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm outside, bro. The propagation here is not correct. There were a couple of things like that, which like I understand, because talking with the audio engineer, the lead audio engineer working on this stuff, this shit's fucking complicated. It is extremely complicated. I'm surprised that the fuck like nobody really, it doesn't get talked about much because what people tend to interface with is like what's in your face, right, in the gaming sphere, because that's what's like most immediate and obvious. But the sound design for this game is like such a fucking puzzle piece. I mean, they really have so many different moving parts that they have to accommodate. And like it's not just one thing to have an idea, like it has to work. Like it has to like the engineering has to like actually work correctly. And it can't work sometimes. It can't work 50% of the time. It can't work 75% of the time. It has to work like all the time. And right now it doesn't work all the time. Right now it works like 98% of the time, but that's still better than what a lot of people, really, I think any studio could do with the amount of moving parts that Siege has. I mean, like, just like there's a million different ways that things can happen just based off of the site setups alone and the way that the sound travels through the building as a result of just like opening holes that lead into this kind of reflective surface versus that kind of reflective surface. There's so many things. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the overall package of CJX, like from a technical perspective and from an emotional perspective, right? Because I think this game deserves all the love in the world. I'm really happy to see that they made a concerted effort to just bump up the production quality a little bit, and that's that's awesome. Get some of that Ubisoft money in on it. Okay. About time. Yeah. I mean, it's a big company, they're good for it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm very hopeful, and I do feel good overall about sort of like the prospect of CJX, and also what they said that they're not even gonna be done with the launch of CJX. Obviously, they have more surprises throughout the year, which is really exciting. And I think they're also they're setting expectations to deliver things that people really want. They said that every single time that they ship a new operator right now, they're gonna ship it with one new gun. We're gonna get 3 modernized maps per season, 1 new map a year guaranteed. Yeah, like that sounds really good to me. I think that's
nothing really to complain about there.
Yeah, not at all. And I think obviously with the exception of New Blood, I think recently they've been delivering pretty well. Obviously Prep Phase is a bit scaled down. I love Aurora, but it's a bit scaled down of a season because we're going
I agree. I agree. New Blood was an acceptable loss. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Like New Blood was very clearly like a maintenance update, and then they tried to make it not seem like it was a maintenance update.
Yeah.
Which that is a marketing tactic, right? That's a pay no attention behind the curtain thing. Gamers are very good at sniffing out bullshit, right? Like that's, a very difficult thing to get past people, I think.
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred it if they had just, been very open and honest, like from the jump, and said like, hey, we're working on something really, really big that we can't talk about right now. Sorry, we don't got much here right now because we've been working on all this other shit. I think that would have been received better than just like, hey guys, remember Recruits? Remember this meme that like has cultural standing within the Siege community that carries a great deal of weight and significance? Well, now it's this now. Aren't you guys excited? Like that, it felt very like corporate and PR, and
it's not just that, remember though, because not only that, but also from a design point of view, the new recruits created a lot of issues. Number one, we had the
I don't
issue.
disagree.
We had the issue with the proximity mines and the C-force. So now you have this problem with proximity mines that didn't really wasn't a problem before, but now we have to nerf every single operator has proximity mines because Sentry is too good with C-force. And I agree, that was a problem that had to be nerfed. But that only became a problem because we designed this character that is problematic, and now we had to do the same thing with Striker, where we had to nerf all flashbangs. And again, that was a good change, and it actually created more of a utility dumpy meta, which I am happy about overall.
I agree.
But
yeah,
we have this issue where we have two characters that don't have individual balancing levers. Where if we want to nerf them, we're also nerfing any of the other operators, and that is a problem.
There was a reason they didn't want to touch it. There was a reason they didn't want to even touch the conversation of recruits being in ranked, because they knew that they would get traffic, and they do get traffic. Striker and Sentry get a pretty decent chunk of competitive traffic because newsflash, as it turns out, being having a character that has the ability to offset the resource distribution of your gadgetry. And you can just say, oh, wait, well, we really need a C4 here. We really need a BP here. Oh, let's just bring a whatever, right? And now we can bring something else, right? Like the gadget economy does mean a lot in competitive play. And, I wasn't shocked at all when I saw both of them, not get like super crazy pick rate, but a decent enough pick rate. And, that does come with certain balancing challenges. You're going to have to, if you ever want to add more secondary gadgets, which by the way, that we haven't had a new one in a while. I'm kind of curious about that. I am curious there. I do wonder.
The observation blockers weren't too far long ago. I think it were like year 8.
I think it's year 10.
Yeah. But that isn't too long to look back at, though.
I guess.
But still, you're right. You're right. But it was for year 8 season 2.
Been away for a while.
Exactly 2 years ago. Exactly 2 years ago. I did. How good is it?
We've been away for a hot second.
But honestly, I think observation blockers are pretty.
I love ops blockers. I think they're super slept on. I remember when they came out and people were like, "This is dog shit. No one's going to use these." And now we're like,
what a giveaway! The person saying that.
Yeah, now we're kind of in an intel meta again, kind of like 2019. Like we've kind of come full circle around from like, we had like very gunfighty intel meta to util simulator to what was going on in 2023. That was the LMG meta. That was a lot to deal with. Oh boy, I don't want to revisit that. And now I think the actual like pacing of the gunfighting and the replayability of the game, I'm having a ton of fun. This is the most amount of fun I've had playing Siege since it first dropped. I thoroughly enjoy the direction that they took here. I think that they played the long game coming out of year 8 and year 9 by saying like, this is a tac shooter, no more lean spamming, right? No more bolo leaning, no more like laser beam recoil on every single freaking gun, right? No more LMG meta, right? No more instant snap ADS. If you reload, you have to commit to the reload. Like that over the course of 2 years has created the esports tactical shooter. And that's great. That's an awesome niche. There is no game like it that has achieved this level of success within that kind of set of categories. And I think it's fine. Kind of yapology right now, but I remember you brought up Raora. I also enjoy Raora. It's a shame that her gun was kind of I think they were just scared of giving her an SMG-12 again, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's I don't know. I feel like people are overreacting a little bit when it comes to the Glock. But
girly gas operator. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, but the way I look at it, like people are always gonna get more used to the recoil over time as more people use it. We've had so many iterations where like it starts out, people think the recoil is too high, and then you give it a couple of months, and then okay, the recoil is actually fine because now we're used to it. I think if anything, the DPS on it is a bit low. Even if you can
The
control
damage is
recoil,
low. The damage is low. The rate of fire isn't that high compared to other machine pistols. It has like its recoil is by far and large. Like it's not even. It's an outlier in terms of how much recoil it has.
But I think that's still better
just,
because then they can
just give it
tune
like a
up
little
bit.
just a
yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah. Speaking of Spiro side effects, I gotta go pee. All right, bye.
All right. Okay, now it's just you and me, chat. Just you and me. Holy, you're trying to get what are we? What's going on? Hey, hello, Snake, hello, Cassiopeia, hello, Uplinks. Damn. Don't add Spyro to R6. We're adding Spyro to R6. Thank you, Snake. Yeah. Anything? What have we not talked about? We haven't talked about Blackbeard. I can yap about Blackbeard, and then when we come back, Gwen can yap about Blackbeard. This is gonna be a hot take because I think it's funny because I do think Blackbeard is more overpowered now. But I am still happier with what Blackbeard is nowadays than what he was. Yap about quick match, but we already did that. I already did say that it's bad. There you go. Still bad. Blackbeard raw aura and maybe current shield state. I mean, I do think that the shields right now are a bit of a frustration point for a lot of people. Even myself, who like enjoys what shields bring to Siege, I'm not too happy with the way shields work. And that's just fat cockinitis.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. What kind of events would you like to see in year 10? Okay, so we talked about this before, but we might as well just bring it up again just so that if an occasional Siege dev looks at this, then they can get the inspiration. But I just want a medieval themed event with like focus on like melee weapons and gadgetry.
Like crossbows and shit?
Yeah, like I don't know.
That'd be fun. I'd fuck with that.
But yeah, like the Groot Keep, if you ever played Team Fortress 2, literally that. Just you take anything that like works in like a medieval settings and melee weapons and just go crazy with it. I think that would be so fun.
I know the guy in the archer tower is gonna piss everybody off. If they add like an archer. There's gonna be that one person who just plays archer all game.
Yeah, no, I would like it to be melee weapons, but you could obviously have some gadgets that are like ranged, like the Capitao crossbow could be one of the gadgets that's playable in that mode.
That's smart.
On that note, actually, they did say in CGX that they're gonna be doing new events. Like, I don't think they're gonna be bringing back like existing events in CGX, like Doctor's Curse and whatnot. I think they're actually gonna be doing new events for CGX, which is pretty exciting. And I think they said that they're gonna do 2 events per season.
Blowhigh mentioned. Blowhigh mentioned. My son.
Did you know that it's Swedish?
I do know that it's Swedish. I am an IKEA stan. I love IKEA. Okay. I got my mom hip to IKEA. We have an IKEA about a 10-minute drive from my new place, and like very, very significant amount of things in my life have come from IKEA in the past 2.5 years, such as this IKEA shelf. Wait, there it is.
Uplinks. Did I ever make my video on that Uplinks? I don't think I did.
What was the video I did?
Yeah, so I once had an idea to make a fan-made idea for like the medieval event, and I think I commissioned Uplinks to make art for that, but I don't think I ever shipped that video. Holy.
You know what would go hard too for an event?
Yeah.
Like a secret agent event, like a James Bond kind of thing. Like a cheesy like 80s spy movie event.
Yeah.
That'd be fire. That'd be sick.
What would the gameplay modifier be though?
Like night vision? I don't know. That'd be interesting.
We'll have to come back to that.
Odd Job's hat. Give Maestro a hat, and then he throws his hat at people.
Oh my god.
Woke the ops and give them HRT. Real? Gender bend event? Oh my god.
Oh god.
That would be... Jesus. Oh boy, the woke left without saying goodbye.
Damn.
Many such cases. I do like Raora a lot. I think that her gadget is good in some instances, and those instances are very fun and rewarding when you pull it off. And then in every other instance, it's like, why did I bring this operator? Which is that's fine. I am drinking sparkling water. This is some San Pellegrino.
Oh God.
But yeah, bougie water. Number one sparkling water hater is crazy. I could obliterate an entire case of this. I think that more operators like Raora aren't necessarily a bad thing, but from a content creator perspective, I need more like fuck you OP mechanic.
Ooh.
Because money. I'm kidding. Not really. Please help.
New operator Phobos. Well, to be fair, that's not confirmed.
Maybe.
Yet.
Yeah.
That is not confirmed, but probably we'll see it one day. Which Phobos looks sick, if that is Phobos, the new character, evil character we've seen. He looks sick. That's all we really know.
Yeah, he looks fire. What do you think of like sorry?
I don't know. Continue.
What do you think of the story stuff that they've done so far? Like the whole like G.I. Joe kind of thing they got going on.
I mean, I hope they finish off Dokkaebi so we don't have to deal with her anymore. But no, but I mean, I like it, but at the same time, I have never really felt like I disliked it. I mean, I was personally like fine and interested in the whole like Siege Olympics things, so like I'm not the perfect person to ask what I think about the Siege lore.
Insane calm in chat right now. Wild.
Yeah. Freeing Dokkaebi? Ew.
No, man. No.
Hey, this still exists. Well, it re-exists. We're back. And we're live now. Holy.
Did you know that Dokkaebi doesn't wear real glasses?
Yeah,
she's a fraud.
So. Yeah, I mean, we knew that. But
annoying.
I mean, Siege lore is cool. I mean, I don't really care too much about it. Like, I'm just here for. I'll see where they're.
I kind of am too. Yeah. Look me in the eyes and tell me R6 lore isn't the most cringe on planet Earth. What?
No,
I think it's fine.
I don't think it's cringe. No.
It's not Valorant, dude. Valorant. God, don't get me started on Valorant. They had to have different creative people because when that game first dropped and a lot of the like trailers and shit they were doing started coming out, I was like, wait, oh my God, this is fire. This is like fucking like KO is like Future Trunks, but a robot. And then you're telling me in the future timeline, like Reyna gets all the girlies and they have a league of evil women superpower club and they just take over the fucking world? What are you talking about? This is so sick. And then they were just like, hey, whatever. Think fast. Watch out. And I'm like, I was just like, I hate you, Riot, so much for doing this. Why did you do this? Oh my God, don't get me started on fucking Val.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to it, but initially it seemed like they were gonna be able to pull off the sort of like Overwatchy character development, and people would be like, please make a movie and everything. And now it's just you don't hear anything about it.
Ass. Which is it's a shame because like I liked the designs. Like they had some really great design. It sucks. Valorant's just a fucking mess. Which is a shame. I really enjoyed playing the game when it first dropped. I really did. But back to Siege, I really think like it's fine. I just don't know what people expect from a multiplayer only game. Like you definitely have your opportunities to play other like single player campaign shooters if you want, or to do something that's a little bit more like tactical and realistic. But like Tom Clancy stuff has never been that. I don't get this idea that like Tom Clancy, like Tom Clancy licenses have never been like squad, bro. They've always been for like mainstream market. They've always been for like gamer bros on the couch. That like they're not like Tom Clancy's never like released like Arma 3s or Squad, right? That's never been the license.
Yeah.
I just I don't understand what like I think a lot of that is literally just cope. It's just 100% cope. But yeah, I just it's fine. I think they have some interesting avenues to explore, and I did end up asking that. You know, I did talk to some people in Atlanta, and it kind of gave me the impression that they would like to do different things with this cast of characters that they've assembled. Now, you know, it gets into some confusing, difficult territory to manage. When you have 100 unique characters with unique names and unique backstories, right? That can end up being a lot. But you know, comic books have been able to do they've been able to do this shit, right? Because it's not just one person working on all of it, right? It's a whole bunch of people working on different things at the same time. So, you know, does that take away from the seriousness of it or the gravity of it? I don't think so. I think it represents an interesting idea, especially for a generation of, let's be honest, young men and boys, right? That are the primary demographic of the game. That it comes to show them that like this is what this world kind of looks like in some aspects. It's merit based. It doesn't care about personal details that don't really have anything to do with the job, but it also doesn't push you away automatically. If you're different, right? If you can contribute to the mission and help it succeed, then that's all that matters. So that's a good mission. I think that's a good statement to have for a game like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree. I wanted to touch on, I don't know if you saw this. I saw Koros posted a video talking about this subject, but apparently rumors came out that there's a new Rainbow Six game in development, but it is turn-based. How do you feel about that? I know you've always wanted the like PvE tactical.
I don't.
How do you feel about this?
I usually try to hesitate on anything that like gets in the ether like that. That's Ubisoft related.
You've been yapping about this though, so I'm curious.
Okay. I think that if that's true, if the allegations are true, which I don't know, I have no idea. Titanfall 3 just got, it was like, oh, hey, it's back. Actually, no, it's not. So, it's just game or whatever. I have had in the back of my mind an idea for this license with those sort of mechanics, right? Like taking it from a top-down perspective and like incorporating all the gadgets into like a turn-based, XCOM-y kind of game. I have thought about that for years. I mean, even on this show, right? I've talked about it. I would, if I had all the time in the world and somebody gave me a chance, I would 100%. I would love to be a part of a creative endeavor with this license. From a writing and an artistic point of view, to like leverage the voice acting, leverage the story components, leverage the character interactions, leverage the cinematic qualities that you can use here. And just, make a game that I would have loved to play with this license, when I was a kid, right? Like when I was 13. I think there are so many opportunities to take this license and adapt it into an environment like that. And an XCOM top-down kind of game like that would be perfect for that. Like if you had a system where you escalate the intensity, like from mission to mission, you'd like start out with like just a rote like training exercise, and there's like no stakes, and it's clear that like we're shooting at each other, but it's like a training exercise. And then you get into a situation where it's like a lot more intense and like anything can happen, and there's like a time limit and you have to get it within this amount of turns, and if you don't, the whole thing's gonna explode, and oh my god, right? There's like so many things that you could do with like music, with voice acting, with fucking like you could do some art, like you could do some really cool shit here. So if that's what's happening, Amazing. Don't sue me, Ubisoft. I literally don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't. I have no idea. I'm talking about what is publicly available in the press.
Yeah,
as far as the
I
press
haven't
is
seen
concerned.
else except the thumbnail for the video. I never ended up checking it, but I mean, if it is real, that sounds cool. I mean, I would probably play it. I do like those kinds of games. I like the XComs. I did play Door Kickers as well, which I guess is probably the most similar.
The closest thing you would
get
get to that, yeah.
Obviously, I would assume that they bring in the gadgets, because I think the gadgets are like now a really like sort of core component with Rainbow Six, or at least Ubisoft vision of it. So I think they would definitely have.
People have an emotional attachment now. I mean, like, we've been playing this game for 10 years. Like, all the sounds are like distinct, and you remember them in a vacuum. Like, the moment you hear like an ash charge go off, like you that's an ash charge. That's a buck shotgun wall. That's you know, that's a BP camera getting placed. That's a Maestro camera.
Oh,
like, there's so many things.
Oh wait, no, that's a lion, because they use the same sound for whatever reason.
Yeah, that is a little. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, I didn't even think that one through. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's the only time they do that. I don't know why they did that. Like, I really hope that they go and make a unique.
Because they're cutting corners, and Ubisoft's about to go bankrupt,
that one
man.
Is actually, as much as I do like to defend them or whatever, but like, that's one of those times where like cutting corners doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I do hope that they change the demos.
They might in CJax. Who knows?
Make it unique.
Maybe they're listening right now. I'm watching you.
Gulp.
I'm fucking around. I have no idea. Gulp. No, I know. I mean, I know Ubisoft people watch my shit. Like, I'm cool with Trichotomy.
Oh yeah,
like
Justin is amazing. Love him.
Awesome guy.
He tends to peep in and watch these podcasts every now and then.
Yeah.
So
he's around. He stays plugged into the scene. Yeah. Any devs in chat? I mean, the devs like are interested in the scene. Like, they want it to succeed. Yeah. They're fans of the game.
Yeah.
Strange idea, I know.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are devs now were players back in year 1, year 2, year 3.
Yes.
Which is, it's cool. I mean, they're doing what so many of us would love to do, really.
I could write a fucking Academy Award-winning film with this license. Emmy Award TV show. Hit me up. I got the, I can get you a screenplay next month. Here we go.
I have like 99 operator ideas in my head. Hire me.
I'm so dead ass. Like, I've have like story beats in my head. I've thought about making content out of it. I don't know.
Do it.
Might be a little too esoteric. I could.
I mean, you say that, but I remember you made that. I don't. What video was it? It was like, I think it was.
I did a fanfic. I wrote a fanfic of like Ash like being like having range therapy, and she was just at the range having range therapy, and everybody's like, "Damn, she mad as fuck." Which, like, I wouldn't want to piss off Ash, would you?
Yeah.
No.
Nah, she's not this good.
Yeah. Do it in Gmod. Source filmmaker. I don't know.
God. Talk to them that they clearly care. I mean, they obviously do, and it's so annoying because whenever you have like assholes that are mad on Twitter, like, you have to realize, like, they do genuinely care. There might be other things limiting them, so that to the point where they can't care, where it's like higher up, or just sort of like Ubisoft bureaucracy, which I know is an issue, right? But
or just the engineering of making a game.
Yeah. Well, like, there are aspects where like Ubisoft bureaucracy does step in the way when like they could.
But it's all of it. It's multiple things at the same time, right? It's not just one thing.
Yeah, and then you have Halo, where
it can't be possibly worse than Halo. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started on that fucking license. I swear to God.
Yeah, I see you've been yapping a little bit about it recently, but I'm fully with you on it.
Because I'm still mad. I still get like flashbacks to getting ratioed like twice, and I'm just like, wait, I don't even. Ratioed? I don't know if the Halo community like hates my ass or what.
Probably.
I think they have it out for me, because like
Or you told
And
them
on
things
two
they
separate
needed to hear?
occasions, I got ratioed hard because like one time I said like without esports, you know, without the live service model, without a live service content model and esports, like the game is just donezo.
Yeah.
And then I got ratioed for that, and I was just like,
I mean, you're right.
What?
Obviously.
And then everybody got on my ass because they were like, "You said it'd be dead without esports." I said, I didn't say that. I said it'd be dead without esports and live service. Two things.
You're right about. It is dead.
And it is dead.
No
the only time it ever gets traffic is because of the HCS.
Yeah. Like,
no,
I don't know anyone who currently plays Halo Infinite. Not a single person. I don't see a single streamer do it. I don't get YouTube videos recommended. Nothing. I don't see anyone in my community playing it. Nobody is playing Halo anymore. And yeah, they did try to do esports for it, but obviously, like, if people aren't interested in playing the game firsthand, no one is interested in watching the competitive side of it. So
HCS is the only fucking reason that game gets traffic on Twitch.
Wait, what is that?
Halo Championship Series.
I never heard of.
Well, yeah, that's to my point, right? Like, that's the only time you've never heard of it, and that's the only time it ever gets traffic, ever on Twitch.
Yeah. So you're obviously right, but
yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I hate the game too. I hate Halo. I hate it.
I used to really like it, like way back in the day. Like, I spent countless hours in like Halo 3 Forge, just making fun maps and everything. But at the end of the day, it still feels like the gameplay back then is the same as it is now. It's just Halo. They never added anything to spice it up. Yeah, like they need to do what Siege did, and well, Rainbow Six did, and
spice it up. Do something different.
Yeah, genuinely. You only know one person.
I don't want to play year one Siege. I don't want to play year two Siege. I don't want to play Siege with fucking, like, I loved Serenity's videos, but like when I was referencing some of his content for a video that I uploaded today, like the fucking, like, the lean spam era was so, like, no, bro, that's just not it. Like, if getting killed by that was a valid crash out, like a crash out from that was valid. Like blitz lean spam, no, bro, no. That was cringe. That shit was cringe. And like the only reason, this is what pisses me off so much sometimes about talking about the game, is that like nobody knew how to create the power fantasy that was like sold in the 2014 E3 trailer, right? Nobody knew that when the game launched, a 16-year-old was going to see like 4 people like cop LARPing on a door frame and just be like, huh? And then just throw a C4 at it. Nobody knew that was going to happen, right? Then those guys got C4'd by the 16-year-old and they got mad. But why are you cop LARPing on a fucking doorway? What are you doing? Right? There's so many things that the game just, like, it was down to an efficiency argument. It's a shooter game. It has one-shot headshot. It has an extremely fast time to kill. It has snappy gunplay and snappy aiming point adjustments with the leaning. If you don't adjust that, people with certain mechanical skill thresholds are going to shit on people who don't have it. And I'm sorry if you're 40 and you work at the IRS or something. Like, it's okay. It's fine.
Pissing off the IRS now?
Don't talk about my relationship with the IRS right now.
Hey, you're the one sitting here talking shit about the guys who work.
We don't have to go there. I'll talk about the IRS on this pod as much as I want.
Shit.
Fuck it. I'm cooked. Oh my god. It might be oddly specific for a reason. Just ignore that. Don't try to psychoanalyze it. It's okay. Trust me. It's fine. Don't worry about it, chat. Oh my god. But no, like, seriously, I don't, like, you can't make people not shoot. It's a shooter game. That's the only thing that you can, like, and what they did was they slowed the fucking game down. And they kept it to a certain kind of gunplay pace. They were like, okay, this is our vision. This is what we want to do. We're going to make sure it's balanced before we do it. And look what they did. Everybody was saying, like, this is going to kill the game. This is going to do this. This is going to do that. Oh my gosh, it's never going to be blah, blah, blah. And then it's fine. The game's doing great. It's doing great. And it's going to do even better when Siege X comes out.
What's
and
your
it goes free to
prediction
play.
that the Steam numbers are gonna hit? I think easily 300,000.
I think that's that's a reasonable expectation.
At least in like the first like release. Obviously, it might go down after a couple of weeks and still hover around like maybe 200,000. But like I do think it's easily gonna spike up to 300,000-400,000.
By the time we get to the Paris Invitational, we might hit like the most. We might hit like Paris might be the biggest invite of all time, like traffic wise.
Yeah.
That might get the highest numbers for Twitch on Siege, like ever. Yeah. It might peak Brazil.
True.
Like the vibes are up. The vibes are so up right now. It's crazy. I have people like coming back to the game that haven't played it in like 4 years.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this shit sucks. You know, I did nerf my favorite operator, yada yada, and now they're back and they're like fucking around, having a good time, shooting the shit. Like the game it came out in 2016. I don't know what happened specifically with the changing of the guard coming out of the pandemic, but it was clear that like the people that they brought on for year 8 know what the fuck they're doing. They committed to the vision. They didn't deviate from it. They stuck to their guns. They stuck to the plan and stuck on target. And the game's better off for it. And now it's been around for 10 years. And what happened to Overwatch? You know, like what other game has lasted this long with this level of traffic? Not a lot. Halo maybe before it fell off of a cliff. You know, like I don't even think Halo managed to do it. Maybe just nostalgia baiting a little bit because, you know, I played it when I was a teenager.
I think Halo is actually a really good example of why it's good that Siege evolved over the last 10 years, because if you don't, and if we would have still had the exact same game that we had back in year 1 by now, we wouldn't be around anymore.
Adapt or die.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is
like
that works on so many levels when it comes to Siege, not just like the game itself, but like the way the players should be approaching the game. But yeah, did we talk about free to play? I think we might have touched on it.
We mentioned it in passing at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And then I think I made a joke about like not having to work at gas station because free to play. Thank you. Yummy.
Which
amazing.
Yeah, like, you and I both are obviously gonna have a bias in favor of free to play. I understand like some hesitation. I mean, we are. Yeah, we are. Like straight up. Like I understand that I'm extremely biased in favor of it because to me, like I know that my community has the chance to get thousands of new members because it goes free to play. There's going to be so many people that are going to be out there looking for Siege content.
You and me both, man.
Because the game is just going to be so much more popular. So in that sense, I'm always going to be in favor of it. But I'm obviously sharing like hesitations regarding like anti-cheat and also like
I am a little scared CNS. There. A little bit.
Yeah. Which I think anyone is, including the developers themselves. They're not doing this just because they think it's funny. Like, oh, hey, let's do a free-to-play. Like, they know that the anti-cheat has to perform if they're going free-to-play, right?
But you know what they would have done if they had taken it out of the oven half-baked and said, like, we need to fix the player count now, back in 2023 when the cheating was really bad.
Like heavy metal.
Like we're fucked. I don't think you and I are doing this show. Like I think that might have been it.
Yeah.
You know, and like a dumb shit corpo. I'm sure you know, and many other gaming companies has done that. They've like gone to the devs and been like, no, get this shit out now, and then they fuck it.
Yeah.
And to Ubisoft's credit, Ubisoft has, you know, there's a lot of valid things that you can criticize Ubisoft for on a corporate level. But they let the devs do their dev thing. They didn't, you know, intervene too much there. They just kind of said, okay, we trust you guys. And that was good. It's a good thing they did. It's a good thing they trusted them. Which is how, you know, fucking spoiler alert. That's how, like, you know, most of the time, if you just let the devs dev, then the game's better. Fucking rocket science, like amazing. No one's ever thought of this before. You know, like I don't know. There's a lot of examples of a game like Siege just, and that's not what happened here. So we'll see. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. Because a year and a half of just like Cheater City it'll do that to you.
For sure. Yeah.
And it was bad. Like it was 100% a pressing issue, and it was getting pretty rough. I don't know what they did the past couple of seasons to really like even it out. It's working for me. I mean, I've been playing a shit ton of ranked. I'm having a great time. I ran into like 2 blatant guys, reported them. They got banned like the next day, and I got my elo back.
Yeah.
They allocated their resources to where they needed to go.
Yeah, my experience has pretty much been pretty good too. Like Collision Point, I had like almost no cheaters whatsoever. Been a couple more cheaters this season, but generally speaking, it's been completely tolerable.
Yeah.
Like I've been enjoying it, and if they can keep that up going into CGX, I think we're gonna be okay.
How do you feel about rank 2.0?
I mean, we've talked about that so many times, but
we can't have a post-plant pop without rank 2.0.
Yeah, no, we can, but
okay, that's fine.
We've yapped about it so many times. I think at this point, it's just boiled down.
Rank 2.0 stun lock.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's just boiled down to this thing that I feel like so many people are just using as an excuse when they're having a rough game.
Damn, chat. Did you hear him? Damn.
I mean, that's the truth. Like,
he talking shit.
It's become.
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
It's become the black sheep that everyone's just like, oh, I'm missing all my shots. Oh, rank 2.0. It's the thanks Obama of Siege.
Thanks Obama.
Of video game communities. It's like, oh, this thing is bad. Oh, let me just blame something that's like completely irrelevant to it.
Let's go, Brandon! Oh my god. That's fucking funny.
I mean, it is. Thanks, Obama.
I think... You know what? I'm gonna say it. I don't care. You broke your Elobo. Chat. I said it.
Your Elobo?
Your elbow. It's fine. It didn't land. It's okay. Please don't draw attention to the fact that bombed. Please.
Delivery was kind of.
It's okay. It's fine. We can move on from this. We don't have to talk about.
I think we have that one guy in chat right now that is definitely not having a good time in ranked right now. Skill issue.
What are going to be options in the future for people to access ranked Siege Cup? Buy no code for the game. What's that cost of that? I don't know.
I think it's probably is going to be the same as it is now. It's just going to be that like they're opening up unranked and below to be free to playable, basically.
Okay.
That's
good. Yeah.
And then they can probably keep the price for ranked higher instead of doing like free weekends all the time where the game is like $5. So
yes.
Yeah. Rank 2.0 is actually not a battle pass. That is incorrect. That is misinformation back. So the reason why a lot of people think this is because...
Here he goes.
Shut up. When on the Ember Rise test server, when they were first testing the new like rank 2.0, I think it was Ember Rise, they had intentionally put everyone to champ hidden MMR just so that you could get games on the test server. Which is why if you were ranking on that specific test server, everyone could get champ. But that is not actually true in practice. There you go. I'm said my piece. Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Good job.
Yeah, you wish you could unyap like that.
I do. I don't have unyap genes.
Yeah.
I have yapper tech tree.
Yeah.
I can't unspec. I've already spent all those tech tree points in Yap.
Boom. There it is.
And I'm American, so I'm loud too. Isn't it great? Aren't you looking forward to this every month?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I mean, it's so good. I can just lean back and you can take the wheel.
Dude, I literally have. Okay, at one point I had a sticky note on my monitor that was like, "Don't talk over Kini." Because I remember one show we had where it was very
cooked.
Yappington. Yeah, it was very Yappington, and I just cooked the pod because I couldn't shut up, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad.
No, but that's fine. I mean,
So I had a sticky note.
Yeah, I mean that was always something.
I'm not used. Yeah, sorry.
Like we had to work out the kinks, so to speak, and like how, because we didn't really do a podcast, right? Like I don't know if you ever took part on like the Hot Breach, but I joined them on like 2 episodes or whatever. So none of us really like experienced with podcasts.
I was on Hot Breach, like, God, was that Flanked and Zoronic? Am I thinking of the same one? I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, there were 2 podcasts.
What was Get Flanked and Zoronic's show?
Well,
you know what I'm talking about?
That was the one they made after they split with Rogue 9. I think that was the Hot Bridge podcast.
Was the Hot Bridge? Yeah, I went on there once.
What was the first? No, wait. The first one was called the Hot Bridge podcast with Rogue 9. And then they rebranded and made a new one with Cyronic. And Pete was on there still for a bit as well. But I forgot.
Yeah. Didn't they added on Jess for a little while too?
It's
right?
been a minute.
Am I crazy?
Since.
Am I schizophrenic?
Probably. I don't know. Someone probably remembers. Because they were 2 different names. Logic Bomb.
Logic Bomb.
Was
Logic
that the second
Bomb.
One? That was the second one. Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're right. Logic Bomb Pod.
Mm-hmm. And then we have gone through 2 names. We started with something else.
Because there was already a prep phase. There was like an esports. Yeah. It was like an esports pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really like they had used it like a couple of times a couple of years back, but we figured that we'll just swap it to.
Yeah, just to avoid that, I think. Yeah, avoid the problem.
Yeah.
How do you feel about esports stuff right now? Are you excited for the new season?
Yeah.
Reload's coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited because they're gonna be showing off all of the new stuff there, and also the new banning system for comp. And I believe they're actually playing it on
1v1s
in CJX.
1v1s in the event.
Yeah, but it's only for this event. It's not something they're gonna be sticking around. I don't.
Oh yeah, I know. And not like a main.
Which I think is good because as much as like hee haha jinxie 1v1s.
No, it's for entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think, but like I look at this from like how I want Siege to be viewed as thing, and like I don't want 1v1s to be more than just a funny little thing. I don't want them to be taken serious because they shouldn't be, because Siege is so much more than 1v1s and being good at 1v1s. You know what I mean?
I think they're 1v1s are a good test of your like gunfighting sharpness. Like I will say that. But outside of that, you know, like Siege isn't all gunfighting. Like Siege is a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And you know, reload tourney format is Mickey Mouse. Look, dude, it's a marketing event. It's fine. Just let them have this. Let them have one little thing, and then they won't have to do it ever again. It's okay.
It is important to note that, like, we've talked about this before, I believe, but esports is an entertainment business, and making something that is exciting to watch and entertaining to watch is good.
In esports, it's hard.
Yeah, but I think it's good that they're trying to do something very unique and to really spice it up. And if it's shit, then they just won't do one next year.
Yeah, they learn their mistake and don't fucking do that again.
At the end of the day, it isn't for SI points or anything like that. So yeah, let them cook. See what happens. If it's shit, it's shit. But you know, it's not the end of the world.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. I do. Yeah. It might just be a one-off, and hey, maybe when we actually watch it and it doesn't feel as convoluted as that god-awful breakdown that they posted, maybe it's really good. Who knows? Yeah.
I need to see what the rotations were for the lands again, because I know Paris is upcoming for invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't announced November major yet, the location.
Okay. Probably not going to do anything in North America for a while because they just did Boston and Atlanta too. So yeah, I might be out of loop for a little while. I'm still brushing up on my Francais, just a little bit.
Ew.
I know.
Yeah. No, but I'm excited for Paris SI. I did go to the Paris major way back in like 2017, I think.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's right after I met you. That's right after I met everybody at right? No.
Was it 2017?
No, that was
2019.
29. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Yep. Opinions on celebration packs. I mean, they're nice.
They're cool.
They're free shit.
They're cool.
I'll take it. Apparently, you're gonna be able to sell them on the marketplace if you keep them around, so that's interesting. And don't know how I feel about that, because I personally like to avoid the CSE system. But dude, they might pump up in value over time if you keep them around. So I don't know.
Stonks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest, personally.
Always be closing.
Oh God. Speaking of closing, we've been yapping on for
been at it for a hot minute.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we can wrap.
A little bit of a hiccup earlier. Discord decided to try to keep.
It's kind of a funny hiccup.
Podcast in the dirt. But we're back, and we'll see. When it comes to next episode, I mean, if they do end up doing a balancing patch for this season, which I have a slight suspicion that they won't, we'll have to see. If anything, when is reload? It's May something.
It's in May, yeah.
I mean, hopefully I think we should be able to squeeze in one more podcast this month. But we'll see. I hope that there's
also, I think Challenger League stuff is next week.
No clue. But I don't know. I never really cared too much about that stuff. That's not really.
Well, I'm getting really into it because I'm trying to get a fucking job. I'm broke, bro. April 22nd. So might have stuff to back end off of that. I don't know.
8th of May.
Might see some Ryora gameplay.
Wait, is the reload 8th of May?
Yes.
Okay. I mean that's
sorry that I'm American, so I looked at that and I was like,
yeah, sorry, we use
August 5th. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, if anything, we're definitely doing an episode around there, but if there is something that comes out, we can probably do another podcast in somewhere in around 2 weeks from now. Try to maybe keep it that sort of like bi-weekly thing. Obviously, the stream format makes it easier to just find topics to talk about, I think.
It fills up a lot of the dead air.
It does. It really does.
Because we can like talk to the chat, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good format. I like this format.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to be keeping that around. Hopefully Discord doesn't decide to cuck us in the future. Hopefully. But yeah, I think we're gonna try to wrap up here, and we'll have to edit out the little hiccup from before. But it's all good. But yeah, thank you everyone who joined us on our return podcast. It was very fun.
Thanks for watching, guys. We had a great time. This is super fun. I missed this.
Yeah, and we'll see you all in the next one.
All righty. Hey, I'm not Mrs. yet. I'm not married yet.
Hey yo. Bye bye.
Deuces.